How many years did you have to go to school to become a vet?
5 years, 5 years at university. And I know that
5 years now, Olivia?
sorry,
Is it still 5 years now? It hasn't
it's
changed.
it's changing, and I think that I don't think it's changed just yet, but they're going to follow the American model where you do basically a science degree first, and then do vet study, so it becomes a 6 year course.
Okay. Yeah, so Taylor's in Canada, so I'm not quite sure what the system is there.
I think it's
Yes,
about the same.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it?
yeah.
So you do, sorry, what'd you say, 5 years to become a
Oh,
vet?
what I did, yes,
And
but
then
it's
so
yeah.
do
Go
you
on.
do you like further study to become like a wildlife vet?
You do. And so, as I said, vet specialties weren't a thing when I graduated, but they certainly are now. So, a wildlife vet now would graduate with a vet degree, and I would encourage anybody doing that to then go out and work as a vet for a few years before then going back to do any specialization like wildlife, because you really want to cement all that knowledge that you've gained, um, to be a broad spectrum general, GP vet. You
Yeah.
really want to solidify that and then go back and specialize to, study to be a wildlife vet.
Okay.
Yeah, and Wong, you took a totally different path with your with your
Yeah, I did a diploma. It's a 2 years very, crash course, and at the times focus on livestock during the 80s. And this is not what I signed up. Yeah, I know how the so-called veterinary, targeted on livestock, like what Olivia just now mentions. There is no animal welfare, no animal rights. It's all about profit, profit, profit. It's all about suffering, suffering, suffering.
Yeah.
And I said, this is not what I signed up for. And then at the times, I start to learn about wildlife conservation while I research, and I feel like this is, what I liked, and I go for it.
Yes, and I hope that the veterinarian, like and I do see that it is changing, but instead of focusing studies on being able to treat like livestock so that for production purposes, that it will be more focused on treating animals, to enhance their lifestyle.
Mm. And Stacey, can I ask you if you because you're a wildlife carer, so is that like a step? Can that be a stepping stone to becoming a vet, or how does that work?
Well, it's mostly volunteer. So you get the animals in care and you learn as you go. So you go and do the courses to go under the permit of depending on who you're going through, the wildlife people. And you sort of learn as you go. And if you've already got the passion, it doesn't take much to sort of want to get into it further. Um,
Yeah.
I found I learn better by doing prac. I don't learn by sitting in a book staring at the screen. It doesn't work for me at all. Um, but I mean, I've been inundated with possums. I have three in care at the moment anyway, so due for a feed for surely. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a place to start. Like if you want to get hands on now and start learning different things now, then I'd start with the wildlife. Currently, I know they're looking for bird carers at the moment. The birds are coming in thick and fast.
Yeah.
The tail possums are coming in too at the moment. I've got brush tail possums here at the moment. So, but yeah, definitely, it's definitely something to look into. So go to one of the wildlife rescue talks, have a look at what they actually, what you can do, and then just see how it works for you and see if you can fit it into your lifestyle for the time being. You're only volunteering, so you can do courses and stuff on top of that if you want to. Yeah, you can do stuff at home. So
Interesting way for Taylor to start working with wildlife would be as a carer then.
yeah, even if you start with minor caring and then go venture into the bigger stuff later on, but even just knowing how to do the milks, and you learn about the disease, or when they get sick, like candida and all that sort of stuff. When they get that, you learn tricks of the trade of how to assist as you go. So,
and by doing that, you get to learn about nutrition and about the living conditions and everything like that about the animals, which would be a huge bonus before going to do a vet course.
well, it teaches you also that so with the when you've got possums in care, you want to give them as much green as you can. And we know flowers are not present all year round. You can give them the odd one here and there, but when they're really little, they're like children. If you give them something sweet, they're only going to eat the sweet. So you try and give them as much green and variety as you can, as long as it's try and stick to native, and that you know that they're going to find out in the wild.
Yeah.
And they're little. So
Awesome. Thank you. Was that helpful, Taylor? Gave you some ideas? Awesome. Who's got any other questions for Olivia? Thanks for that, Stacey.
You're welcome.
I've got a question about your project in Borneo when it comes back. Where again is that going to be, Olivia?
We were looking at doing it for Leo Biddle, but I think that Casey has been in contact with Wong.
Yeah.
And when it's closer to the time, and we've actually exchanged some emails with some of the vets that did some dental work at Wong's as well. So
Yeah.
we're hoping to, like he's a world-renowned dental specialist. So, if we're going to go over to Malaysian Borneo, we should, cater for as many sun bears as we can.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so he's coming back again later this month. Yeah, we're gonna have another dental workshop with several vets involved. Yeah, so it's good. And then Leo's facilities is called Matang Wildlife Reserve in Sarawak, in Kuching, near Kuching.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so you might get a little bit closer. It would be great if you can visit Wong while you're there too, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great. One day if you can come and visit us, that would be really, really great. Yeah.
Yeah, and the veterinary dental specialist is Dr. Tony Kiefer. So he's yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Olivia? How are we going?
Oh, I don't have a question for Liv. It was more of a comment about her talk. So yeah, it's I just think it's fascinating to see all the different areas Liv's gone into with her vet degree. And having been at uni with her, I think what it really points out to people is that vet is not just what we see on TV shows or what we used to see on TV shows. Now I think we see a much bigger area of vet. But the other area I think that's probably one area that's a good way of getting into the wildlife as well, I've noticed with the work that I've done over the years too, is One Health. So the sort of One Health concept now of human medicine, human vet and wildlife as well. Just in my work in teaching and with the government, there's a lot of opportunities for some good wildlife people in that area as well. So it could be another area people can look at getting into if they're interested in that connection.
At One Health, how would that work?
If you just searched One Health on the internet, you would find a lot of information about it. There are some organisations that operate independently, but it's a big part now of a lot of the work I think vets are doing at university as well, and certainly incorporated a lot into the teaching. And it's not necessarily vets. There are a lot of wildlife biologists, there's epidemiologists, there's... Is
that an international thing or an Australian thing?
Oh, no, it's very big in Australia now as well. And I think it was really brought home probably to us with COVID as well. Vets have always sort of been interested in that continuum of animal, human health sort of things. And I think we've all sort of looked into that as well. But yeah, it's just other areas. It's been a privilege to see Liv go into all of these different spaces with her vet degree, and yeah, I think not enough people know about that and the sort of different things she's done. It's kind of an inspiration to all of us of her era.
Oh,
be able to travel and see the animals and stuff, that would just be phenomenal, to be able to be hands-on and actually get the experience without, just to see what other places do to help with all sorts of things, from the conservation to, repopulating and all that too. So
yeah, and you learn so much, from every area that I've been to. You just learn so much different things about treatments, which are very different. Might be very different to treatments here. Handling and just just the different attitudes too. It's I think that one of the things I think that it's important when you, like, as a vet or anybody going into to try and volunteer in developing countries, is to always have an open mind and not be going in with the mindset of, oh, here I am, I'm going to save you all.
World. Yeah, that's very true.
Well, we all know we can't save everything.
That's true, but we also have to be respectful of other cultures and different ways of doing things, don't we, as well?
Exactly.
That is true.
Exactly.
You mentioned when you're talking about the falconers as well, that there's different, you have to look at things through a local's eyes and to some extent.
And that whole and as I said, they would see that they treat their birds very well, even though we might say, oh well, it's just tethered to a post all day long. When and alluding back to what Wong was saying too, like when I graduated, I was geared towards livestock, keep livestock production. So I look back now at my early vet career and think that wasn't, that wasn't really helping animals, even though I thought I was at the time. So there's an evolution of thought that comes, and that can't be forced. That has to be your own journey to come to recognize that what you think you're doing is, animal welfare, might not be. And what we're doing in this day and age, in 20 years' time, we might think we got it wrong. Who knows?
Yeah, things change. It's very important to be open-minded, hasn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Liv, for that. Was just absolutely fantastic talk. I know that everyone will come with me to give you a big clap for that. So I really love it.
Most certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.